All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Black Bullion Show. We are officially in recession. Finally, the National Bureau of Economic Research has told us what we've all known all along. So, how did markets react to this news? Well, they reacted as expected. But before we get into that, just have to say if you're new to this channel, please hit that big red rectangular subscribe button right down below. Also, please hit the like button, helps you get this economic evangelism right on out there to the masses. Okay, so let's get into this. So, I'm not going to read all of this, but I'm just going to read some key points from this report. So, the Business Cycle Dating Committee of the National Bureau of Economic Research maintains a chronology of the peaks and troughs of U.S. business cycles. The committee has determined that a peak in monthly economic activity occurred in the U.S. economy in February 2020. The peak marks the end of the expansion that began in June 2009 and the beginning of a recession. The expansion lasted 128 months, the longest in history of U.S. business cycles dating back to 1854. The previous record was held by the business expansion that lasted for 120 months from March 1991 to March 2001. I'm going to skip down to this highlighted section right here. Because a recession is a broad contraction of the economy, not confined to one sector, the committee emphasizes economy-wide indicators of economic activity. The committee believes that domestic production and employment are the primary conceptual measures of economic activity. Those two metrics are very important for what I'm going to be saying later on in this video. So, with this information, seeing that we have unprecedented contraction in employment, and we're likely going to have a huge hit to our GDP this year, you'd think that would cause markets to course correct a little bit. Now, I know that markets are forward thinking, but the NBER put out a new definition in how they classified this this recession. Let's scroll down to it. And here's exactly what they said under further comments. The usual definition of a recession involves, quote, a decline in economic activity that lasts more than a few months. However, this is important. However, in deciding whether to identify a recession, the committee weighs the depth of the contraction, its duration, and whether the economic activity declined broadly across the economy, the diffusion of the downturn. The committee recognizes that the issue and the public health response have resulted in a downturn with different characteristics and dynamics than prior recessions. Nonetheless, it concluded that the unprecedented magnitude of the decline in employment and production and its broad reach across the entire economy warrants the designation of this episode as a recession, even if it turns out to be briefer than earlier contractions. There's no way that GDP and employment contractions will be quote unquote a brief episode, as the NBER says. So with this recession definition, again, they're taking a look at the depth of this contraction of economic activity as they define being employment being a huge marker and also GDP essentially being a huge marker. How have the markets taken to this news? This very, very bad news. Well, markets are in the green. Exactly. You guessed it. I'm sure it's not a surprise to you by now. The markets are up. We are at 27,572. We are almost we are less than 1,500 points away from 29,000, where we were earlier this year. Since we're living now in clown world, we need to be aware when the joke is on us, the investors. Anyone playing musical chairs right now with the stock market better be vigilant before the music stops. That's my take. Let me know what you guys think about this new announcement that we're now officially in recession. Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks again for watching. Please hit that subscribe button. Please hit the like button. Thanks again. It's Black Bullion.